Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, after a prank that goes horribly wrong, these sorority sisters find themselves with two big problems. The first is finding a place to hide the body. The second is escaping the clutches of a maniacal killer. Tonight's movie, The House on Sorority Row.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Bah! The Year of Infamy, 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 Infamy! Ah. Tonight, it is time to return to the tried and true 80s slasher movie genre. And tonight we are going to do a classic of the cinema, or the classic of the genre from the cinema, The House on Sorority Row. I really do like these MVD Rewind Collection cases. They have that wonderful look of the old VHS tapes. Honestly, like if you haven't checked out 80s VHS tape covers for horror movies, you really have to. I mean, you have to get a video. Go on YouTube, search 80s VHS horror covers. Some of them are just spectacular. Some of them are just wonderful and spectacular. And I know that this one's kind of got this nice, wonderful poster, which I might put up eventually, but also has like this other reversible cover, which also has some pretty good artwork on that. So honestly, like, mwah, you gotta check that stuff out. You gotta check that out. I mean, like, one might say, like, it's a lost art. You know, the art of the video cover. It's just you see, and also posters. Like you look up 80s horror movie posters. They're spectacular. Even 70s horror movie posters. They're great, and they just sort of like turned into dog shit poster-wise for the newer movies. Like in the 2010s and 2020s, holy crap, they were just... Ugh. Anyways, so... enough of that. Let's get on to the show, shall we? Let's talk about The House on Sorority Row. So what is it about? Well, of course, it's about a sorority. Yes, a sorority, but before that, we have some kind of tragic thing that happened in the past. Oh my God, we're going straight for the slasher formula. What was that? The slasher formula. There's got to be like a past evil that occurs, or a past bad thing that occurs, and then that's somehow connected to the bad things that happen now. Anyways, so was it like 1960 or whatever? There's a woman in a house. She's about to give birth. The doctor's there, and they have to do basically a cesarean, and you know, she comes to afterwards, and excuse me, and she asks about the baby, and the doctor says, like, I am sorry, but you know, and of course she's all like, no, not quite the Darth Vader, no, but still, you know, no. Anyways, fast forward, this woman is now a house mother for a sorority, and of course she's seen talking to that same doctor, but they're older now, and he's saying like, no, you know, you need to like come, you know, under supervision and stuff like this. You know, the situation could be getting worse and that type of stuff. So, you know, we're setting up things for like, oh, something's going wrong with her, you know, that past trauma, you know, the child and all. But anyways, so the girls, like some of the girls in the sorority want to have a graduation party, and they want to have it at the sorority house. And of course the mother is like, no, you guys got to get out. The end of the term is this date, and you got to get out by this date, and there's definitely no party that's going to go on. And of course, you know, the girls are like, fuck that, we're going to have this party, and you know what, we're going to also get her with a prank, a big ass prank. Well, the prank was sort of thought of after the house mother found one of the girls, I guess the leader of the pack, having sex with her boyfriend inside the house and on a waterbed. What did I tell you about waterbeds? What did I tell you about waterbeds, people? What did I tell you? Waterbeds. Just stay away. Anyways, she basically canes the waterbed so it like springs a leak and they're all soaked and she's all pissed off on it. So anyways, they want to get some mad vengeance by pulling a prank, and of course that prank goes horribly wrong and they end up killing the old lady, and they decide, oh no, the party people are about to show up. What can we do? Well, we're going to just, put the body in the pool. Mind you, this pool has not been attended to for several years, apparently, so it's all murky, green, brown, and, full of leaves and stuff like that. And so, as long as it doesn't float at the top, no one's really going to notice a body in there. Who knows? There could already be several bodies in there for all we know. Anyways, so, they put the body in there. But, of course, the body comes back up to the top, and then we see a scene where the body is now gone. And so we're like, uh-oh. And so someone starts killing people with the cane that is synonymous with that woman. I mean, that's the cane that she always uses. And so, you kind of think, oh man, she's freaking pissed. So anyway, so she starts to kill the sorority sisters and other people one by one as the party is going on, and the sorority girls are all of a sudden trying to find out that the body is no longer in the pool. They're trying to cover their tracks while still having the party, while still avoiding, guys wanting to get with them. Anyways, and then they're like, oh man, now what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And so we have this sort of like dual movie where we have the slasher and then the people trying to get away with murder function, because the body is no longer in the pool, and then they find the body up in like the attic of the house room or something like that. And then they're like, oh, now we have to try to get rid of the body and still avoid the killer. And of course, are we sure what body is in that bag? Because no one's ever like not actually checking and stuff like that. And so they're like, get this idea that we're gonna like hide the body in like a grave in the graveyard. So they're gonna hope that someone died recently and there's gonna be an open grave, and they'll just dig a little further down and put the body in there. I mean, I've heard that's a sort of a thing that people do to try to hide bodies. Doesn't seem very effective. I don't know. Anyways, so basically, will the girls be able to survive the night? Will they figure out who the killer is, get the body hidden, not get in trouble with the police, not get in trouble with anybody else? And the most important thing is, will they have a good time at the party, right? Anyways, so let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence in Gore, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Look, there isn't a lot of on-screen. It's usually put away, but they're, cutaway or off-screen type of stuff. But there are a few good shots with the thing going, with the cane going into people and stuff like that. And I heard that, those shots were actually done in the backyard, I think, of the director after principal filmmaking was done, because they wanted to add more gore to the movie. So anyways, kudos to them for wanting to add more gore. I am always appreciative of that stuff. So anyways, I mean, not too obsessive, but there are some brutal and nice kills in this movie. So I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. So moving on to shock value, there's a 2.5 out of 5. There are some decent jumps in this movie, though it's not like constantly filled with them, and you don't have like 1,000 cats jumping through windows and stuff like that. And there's a couple shocking twists, turns in this movie, and this, especially toward the end, this one thing where this happened was really good and well done, and I loved it. So anyways, 2.5 out of 5. Moving on to plot, 3 out of 5. Surprisingly, it's a straightforward plot, but also slasher movie that doesn't have to take the people away, isolate them like in a weird location. This is sorority house, there's a party, there's a lot of people there, so it sort of subverts the whole they're by themselves, but they find ways to get themselves by themselves, and it's fun and entertaining in that way, and the beginning is brought back, and we get a clearer picture, and so yes, there's some red herring going on in this movie, like always. But I think it makes sense, and it's straightforward. And yeah, sure, there's problems here and there, but not enough to bring the movie down. So very solid 3 out of 5. Moving on to acting, I'm actually going to give this a solid 3.5 out of 5. Generally in 80s slasher movies, you don't get really good performances, but I think the main protagonist, the girl that we're behind, the one who's sort of the voice of reason, I think she does a great job. Also, I like the doctor. I think he does a good job of for what he does in this movie, and overall decent performances. A bit above average for this sort of movie, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5, or 3.5 out of 5, my bad, 3.5 out of 5. Nudity, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 5. There's just, a couple things, a couple brief shots here and there. They're very nice, they're very lovely, but they're pretty short. So 1 out of 5, but, it is a slasher movie, so you have to have some here or there, at least, right? It's like a roll. It's a roll. They follow the formula. The slasher formula pretty closely. Anyways, moving on to enjoyment factor, I am going to give this a 4 out of 5. It's just, like Italian giallos, slasher films, especially 80s slasher films, are just like, a warm, fuzzy place for me. They are just, one of those things that I just love. I just love them. They're great. They hit me in the right spots, and even bad ones I still like and enjoy. So, 4 out of 5. Very good, entertaining, refreshing. Well, I don't know why I would say refreshing. It's entertaining and fun, and just, just nostalgic. Just very nostalgic feeling. Anyways, 4 out of 5. Moving on to overall impressions. 3.5 out of 5. Look, released in the 80s, there were a million slasher films. This one sets itself apart, and that's why it's kind of like a classic. People do know about this movie. It's not like in the upper echelon of the 80s slasher, but it's still in the tier lists, and it's pretty good. And it's known and well known for a reason. Well known for a reason. And therefore, 3.5 out of 5, like I said. Decent gore, decent violence, decent plot, decent acting. Comes out to a decent movie of indecency. Anyways, so 3.5 out of 5, and that averages out to a very respectable 3 out of 5 in the average score. So there you have it, The House on Sorority Row. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, notification, all that YouTube garbledygunk, and oh man, I think I'm getting tired here. I think my energy, my battery is starting. I'm gonna have to refresh. But anyways, thank you once again for watching tonight's episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror and joining me on this wonderful, wonderful ride through the horror genre. And until next time, remember to stay scary, Internet, and as always, if you're going to do a prank with a firearm, make sure it's not fucking loaded, okay? Not loaded, okay? No loaded. You know what, honestly, no pranks with firearms whatsoever, honestly. Just just like what? I don't know. It's like, remember that Final Exam, the movie Final Exam? They had that prank with fake machine guns and people getting kidnapped, and of course the police are going to show up. So yeah, like anytime you have a prank with firearms, it's probably going to go bad. Okay, I'm just going to say that. It's probably going to go bad. All right, so there you go. All right.